Brought to you by Penguin.
The Muse of History by Oswyn Murray. Read by Justin Avoth. Part 1. The Muse of History. Introduction. Past and Present. She's dressed in blue, head turned to the painter's gaze, blue glaucous leaves of laurel in her hair. She's carrying a book, Thucydides. Her eyes are closed, but her name, Clio, comes from glory, from telling the things men do. Women, too, sometimes. There's a death mask on the table, for she deals in what is past. She holds, as if she doesn't know what to do with it, might prefer a lute, a 17th century trumpet into the light from an unseen window, white as interstellar dust on a galactic nebula, say, the pillars of creation. She's posed in the studio beneath an unlit chandelier by a map whose north is torn from south, the west, on top, any thought of east, is lost. On the easel, he's only got as far as Greek laurel. The real painting, the prize picture Vermeer never sold, even at his poorest, is, himself with his back to us, painting history. Historien. To find out what went on. The West, the East, the wars, the rifted peace. Take her hand. Step her down. Past all the embroidery, out of the frame. Dress her in jeans and a t-shirt. Open her eyes. She is not a professor, collating the sources, though she cares about him. It is usually him, even now, and will help if he is balanced and fair. She is not a journalist, looking for the hot story, twisting words to make scandal and sell. Though with these, too, she is on their side when they mean well. She will look for the thing itself, and will often despair. She is all we have got. Ruth Padel, The Muse of History, 2009. Ruth Padel here describes Jan Vermeer's most famous painting, which was also his favourite, the one that he refused to sell throughout his life. Among art historians, it is usually given the misleading title, The Art of Painting. It depicts the artist, dressed in his best clothes, seated in his studio before an easel, and engaged in painting a young female model wearing stylish blue, who is standing by a window. The highest form of painting was historical painting, and so the subject that the artist is painting is Clio, or the Muse of History, as described in Cesare Ripa's standard work, Iconologia. Let us represent Clio as a girl with a laurel wreath, holding a trumpet in her right hand, and in her left, a book on whose cover is written, Thucydides. This muse is named Clio, from the Greek word kleia, which means praise, or from the other word kleos, meaning glory, which the poets possess among learned men, as Cornutus says, as also from glory which those men receive who are celebrated by the poets. She is represented with the book of Thucydides because, attributing history to this muse, Virgil says in his book De Musis, Clio geste canens transacti tempora redit. Clio, singing the deeds of past times, brings them alive. It is appropriate to demonstrate this by the work of the famous historian Thucydides. The laurel wreath signifies that as the laurel is evergreen and keeps fresh for a long time, so the work of history keeps time past fresh, as if they were still present. Or again, more explicitly, in a later edition of Ripa, published in Venice in 1645, you should depict a woman turning her head back over her shoulder, and on the ground where she gazes there are some half-obliterated bundles of writing. She holds a pen in her hand, and should be clothed in azure, the dress being all bedecked with that foliage which is called evergreen. And elsewhere, one should depict a winding stream like that called the Meander in Phrygia.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?